Before we get started on today's video, I just want to say a massive thank you to Eric Tweedle, who has made a donation to this channel this morning. And every single donation that we get made to this channel is massively appreciated because it's helping me towards costs of things that I need to make these videos, like seeds, compost, containers and fertilizers. And it allows me to carry on making more and more videos to help everybody who wants to some degree self-sustain by growing their own fruit and vegetables, especially with the food prices at the moment getting higher and higher. Thank you very much for that, Eric, really appreciated. And that money will be buying a couple of extra bags of compost, which we'll use in some of his autumn plantings. So let's get on with this video now. We're doing some more container growing today. We've had really good success this year with things like onions and carrots and beetroot. We've just started harvesting spring onions as well out of the raised beds. So I thought, in preparation for autumn, we'll do a couple more containers of white Lisbon spring onions. And these have already been part filled. And I'm just going to add a bit of Grow More fertiliser to each tub. Because this is old compost again. We're continuously trying to save money. Then I'm just going to fill them to the top with some sieved compost. I've got to be doing it out here today, it's just so hot. It's going to be bordering 89 degrees this afternoon. So less time in greenhouse the better. Just get that level out. We don't need to fill them right to the top. These are 10 litre pots and we're putting spring onions in, which are quite shallow rooted, so they'll not even get to the bottom of these containers. So we'll just level it out a little bit as well. Don't have to go too mad when you're doing onions, they'll basically grow anywhere. Now I'm going to give them a really good watering. We'll let that soak in. Quick change of plan, I decided to move back into this shelter. It's just way too hot, even stood outside. And there is a little bit of a breeze, but I don't want to get burnt at the same time. So I'm just going to carry on in this shelter that we built, playing it safe. So normally when we grow spring onions, we plant them together in groups of up to 10 seeds. So obviously they grow as a bunch, and that's the way you would harvest them, as a whole bunch of onions. But what I'm going to do in these 10 litre containers is I'm just going to overseed them. So I'm going to get as many seeds covering the whole of the top of this pot as I can. And when they do start to grow, I still have that option of just selecting a few, twisting them out as I need them, while letting the others grow on. And it's also space saving as well. Instead of spacing them out a few inches apart, I'll let them grow. I only really grow them for the green tops anyway, and I'll just let them grow and I'll harvest them as I need them. So I'm going to take a good amount of seeds, and if you've seen these seeds before, they look like little pieces of coal, and that makes them quite hard to see on top of this compost, but we'll do what we can. And as I said, I'm not even going to bother filling it to the top, there's no need. And then I'm going to take these seeds and basically just broadcast them like this, and I can see that they are going together in clumps, but we can flick them around, separate them a little bit if we need to. We just want to get these overseeded basically, like that. There's a lot of onions in this container now, so that will do. And then we'll just do exactly the same thing with that second pot. Just randomly broadcasting seeds. And again, that's plenty. And we've still got some left to maybe do a few more later on. So now we just need to give them a really light covering of compost. Just enough to cover those seeds. You'll see them disappear if you do it like this, and then you know you're done. And obviously the reason we're doing this is because it gives it a really light covering of compost, and don't bury those tiny seeds too deep. And that one will do. So we'll just do the same with this pot. So now we'll just give it another watering, just to get these seeds settled nicely in. And because these are freshly planted seeds, and we're constantly getting really hot days now, I'm going to cover them with some cling film. That's basically going to turn this pot into a little propagator, and it's going to retain moisture for the entire time that that cling film is on top, so it will stop everything just drying out. So I'll just stretch that piece over the top of there. Quick, simple and cheap, and that's what we need. That's basically all we need to do. So we can just leave this somewhere. We don't have to leave it in sunlight. It's warm enough without it being in sun, and they don't need light anyway until they've actually germinated. So I'll just pop it in a semi-shaded area and just leave it. This is a little container that we did quite recent as well, and we've popped spinach in that, and it's only been about 3 days, and you can see that the little seedlings are now starting to poke through. And of course we did a bit of lettuce in a container as well. And this is that container that we did yesterday, and we've sowed carrots in this one, and we've done the exact same thing with the cling film, because as you can see, it's in a greenhouse, and obviously it's quite warm in greenhouse at the moment. I will be moving it outside today. But because it's got that heat and this cling film wrap on top, it's retaining lots of moisture, which is exactly the reason that we do it for. And especially with carrots, because they don't like to dry out. But in case you've never tried that before, that's what that cling film does. And that's going to help your seeds germinate a lot quicker. So that's a job worth doing today. Quick and easy. It's taking up no space, a little bit of compost, a little bit of feed. And we've got 2 overseeded containers of spring onions, which are basically just going to grow into a mass of onions virtually next to each other. So then we can just harvest as many as we need, leaving the rest to grow on. So out of these 2 containers, I've got some in garden that's all ready to be pulled. Meanwhile, these can get growing. In a couple of weeks down the line, I'll probably get another couple growing, because onions are very cold hardy. So these will quite happily grow all the way through autumn and winter. And onions are one of the easiest vegetables to grow. If you want to see what else we're going to put in containers over the next few weeks, just hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend.